Hey guys, it's Mal here once again, and it's going to be a pretty short highlight reel of clips of the bossing for Dual Strike, Strength Stack, Occultist. These are, of course, all Uber bosses and no normal bosses, because what the hell's the point? And it's pretty ridiculous damage, as you can see. We have some of, I think, possibly some of, and probably the highest, hardest hitting average damage I think I've ever had. Like, some of these hits can hit up to 20 million for one hit, and then we're hitting, I don't know, 10 times a second or something. In the end, the DPS for the build is something like 1 to 200 million DPS. Depends on the high rolls, depends on your ramp time and stuff for withers. But as I established in the previous video, with the way that the Alberons work and then volatility, sometimes we might be hitting for 100, sometimes we might be hitting for fucking 40 million. So that's just the nature of the beast with this sort of thing. If you don't have any lucky hit, which I would have loved to have done with let's say a no hat technology, but hat is very important in this style of build, so we could not really justify taking the hat off. So then it leads to some high rolls, low rolls, but for the most part, pretty much every single Uber boss does get melted over the course of just a couple of seconds. It just, sometimes you might 1 or 2 shot them, sometimes you might 3 or 4 shot them. But all things considered, it's pretty cruisy. Ended up doing, I don't know, like 10 plus Uber bosses without dying in a row, and then died to Searing Exarch once. That was pretty much it for the Uber bossing experience. Everything was flawlessly executed because they don't get to do anything. And we do have a decent enough life pool, something like 7k almost with the precision up. Takes a little bit off. Some fortify, max block. No real suppress, no max res or anything like that. So somewhat susceptible to spells and really big damage like that. But for the most part, it doesn't really come in too problematic. So most of these invites, like this feared and all the other invites, I was rolling them pretty hard. It doesn't really matter because all you're doing is just running in and one-tapping stuff. I do have instant leech for the leech mastery. The only problem is it really didn't feel like it was doing almost anything except for when I came across Simulacrum, wave 20 to 30. That's basically the only time it actually felt noticeable. So I do have the instant leech, I do have better leech. I built into that to hopefully do some good things, but it didn't feel noticeable at all until like Simulacrum. Maybe some like Cortex action here as well. Essentially, when you're hitting enough and then your health is spiking enough and you can still keep hitting things, that's when you can really feel the instant leech kick in. Otherwise, like, things will just die and then you're not next to anything to attack, and attacking like one target with 10% instant leech of 2% leech, something like that, just isn't that huge. So it's only when you're hitting lots and lots of targets. But as you can see, especially when there's 2 targets next to each other with the splash, it will, of course, like most strike skills, overlap a bit better and kill things quite a bit faster. So this is an Uber Cortex. Pretty much all just fell over nice and comfortably, and it was more or less a deathless run of hardcore endgame Uber bossing, we'll call it that, up until this guy. This did not die quite as quick as I was hoping it would, and then it means that he chains into like 3 ball attacks. If you do this much damage this quickly, he just ends up queuing up some attacks, and I was off my game and just got hit by the ball. So we can take a ball even with 70 max fire res, so I didn't actually end up fixing the last bit of fire res on my character because it didn't matter. I could have, it would have been at the cost of something else, but couldn't be fucked in the end because if you're killing everything and doing everything deathless, like got to level 95, barely dying for anything, and then of course all the Uber bossing, didn't die except for Exarch. I didn't bother fixing that last 5 fire res because of that, but maybe for Exarch it actually would have made a difference. 70 fire res for all content, because fuck it, couldn't be bothered fixing it. This is like wave 25 or 20 or something, Simulacrum, and this is comfortably the fastest I've ever killed the Kosis and Omni combos for these thicker waves. None of these waves stood a single chance. If it had Chaos Res, if it had crit reduction, any of that, didn't really make a difference. The bosses would still get 1 to 2 shot, or like 3-4 shots, something like that, and most of the ads would die pretty freaking quick as well. But it is a bit sketchy, basically having max block as your main defense, and then a bit of life, and then fortify. It just isn't good enough for reliable as fuck simulacrums. I mean, I did all 30 waves with 1 death where I just basically walked into an attack from Kosis, but other than that, I didn't die. It is still sketchy, so I don't know. It's not something I would love to do without a whole bunch more armor evasion over and over again, or with fizz damage taken as something else, like some other simulacrum farming builds. But still absolutely doable, 1 death, and it was just my mistake. Would have been a deathless run otherwise. So yeah, all in all, Dual Strike, a very good skill. I know plenty of comments in the YouTube were just like, oh, nice strength stack, Mathel, fucking, yup, we know, it's good. Shut the fuck up. Dual Strike, Occultist, are you fucking kidding me? Dual Strike is a very good skill here. It's one of the highest tier strike skills at the moment, I would say, and it can be done as many different iterations. Doesn't just have to be Alberons, and I've heard plenty of success from other styles of Dual Strike stackage. Either way, Dual Strike Occultist, go fuck yourself. You have not seen that. Very nice build. We did some slight endgaming, thought outside the box a bit, and I was very happy with how it went. And at the end of the day, yeah, probably the most melee DPS I would have ever had, maybe some of the most DPS I've ever had. Very satisfying gameplay, and we'll probably do some more dual striking in the future in a different way if this doesn't get changed in any way. Very fun way to build, and then a pretty good result. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.